Hi, I'm Rich Miller. At Virtua, we believe citizens need to be informed about the important healthcare issues affecting their lives. That's why we're proud to support healthcare programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the Russell Berry Foundation, Virtua, Partners for Health Foundation, partnering to make our communities healthier, better places to live. QualCare Inc., a managed care company administering health plans that care about your health care. Johnson & Johnson, Kessler Foundation, changing the lives of people with disabilities. And by ADP, a comprehensive provider of human resources technology and services. Promotional support provided by Meadowlands Regional Chamber, building essential connections that drive business growth. And by bestofnj.com, covering all New Jersey has to offer.
This is One-on-One. I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this. You got this?
Here it is, man. Look at that.
Life without dance is boring.
When you first heard that they were doing Charlie Rose and Gayle King, didn't you go, what?
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No.
People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
Such a good question. High five.
Hi, I'm Steve Adubato here. More importantly, I have two very special guests to talk about scouting and why it's so special. First, our good friend, back by popular demand, looking better than ever, Bart Oates, former NFL player and star. How many Super Bowl rings?
3.
Yeah, okay, who's counting? And also a scouting volunteer, and he's joined by his good friend, Matthew Scala, who's 16 years of age. Just told me he's been in scouting since he was 6 years of age.
Yes, I have.
How great is this? And I want to thank our friends over at Wake Firm for talking to us about scouting and why this is so special. I got to ask you something. You were a scout as a kid?
I was, yeah. I grew up as a scout. Yeah.
And now you're a volunteer?
Been a volunteer for years.
Because?
Been a scoutmaster, because it's an awesome organization. It helps young men kind of learn leadership skills, self-confidence, a lot of fun, camping, just, connecting with nature. It just tremendous benefits.
So for 10 years you've been in this?
10 years.
What would you say the #1 benefit you've taken from your scouting experience has been?
I'd have to say friendships, because the boys you meet in scouting are the boys that you're going to hang out with for years to come. I know most of my friends are from scouting. I hang out with them on the weekends. We go places. We talk on the phone all the time. It's just a really great way to meet new people.
It's interesting. You said you talk on the phone. Now, do you actually talk on a phone?
Well, we text.
Okay.
We text. We have a big group chat.
Do you really?
It's very active. Everyone's on. Oh, how was everyone's day? Sending everyone funny messages or something.
But it's a scout thing.
Oh, it's a scout thing. It's all scouts.
That's great.
Scout jokes and stuff. Scout jokes.
You didn't have that? We didn't have that back in the day.
Yeah, ours was like smoke.
So I got to ask you something. When it comes to the leadership thing, you and I are fascinated by leadership. We talk about it all the time. Mm-hmm. You were one of the great leaders, not just a talented football player, but a leader in the NFL. You continue to be today, as you're concerned about the safety of football players. Talk about the leadership component of scouting.
But it's built in. The leadership is built in. It's designed to help young men that don't have those type of skills to learn them.
How so? Give us an example.
Just peer. This scouting is really to be done right, run by the young men themselves, and the adults just guide. So it's all set, the hierarchy, there's leadership at scouts, and as they develop and as they progress in rank, then they become leaders, and they help they help those younger boys that have just gotten in, the new ones. And it's that process. And so at 18, they move on, they go to college, and then hopefully they come back later and become leaders themselves, but understanding the real purpose of scouting is take these take boys and develop them into men.
As you listen to Bart talk about this, talk about the leadership piece for you.
Right, well, the leadership's not only in scouts, but it's also, I feel, in school for me. As a lot of people they like to do, they say, oh, well, let's wait till the last day to do the group project. But I'm the one person that's like, guys, let's just do it now, get it over with. I'm always the first one to volunteer for projects, presentations. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I volunteer for all these. And even in scouts, I hold the rank of assistant senior patrol leader, which is kind of like I help run the troop.
So, I mean, being a leadership, that's a really big part of it. And, like, you go to programs. I've been to a program, it's called National Youth Leadership Training, or NYLT, where for a week long, this was in Rockaway, New Jersey, Camp Winnebago, where we camped out, and we just did leadership activities, and they taught us skills that you're not going to learn anywhere else. You're not going to learn in school. It's just things in Scouts that aren't taught.
What kind of reaction do you get from the other kids in school who are not involved in Scouting?
I get made fun of occasionally.
Do you care?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
So it also builds self-confidence.
Exactly.
Self-esteem.
I'll walk
like you
around.
really don't care. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
That's okay. I walk around in the uniform. Like, if I come from a Scout meeting, I'll go into ShopRite. Everyone looks at me. I'm like, okay. People look like they're ready to salute me.
You're wearing your sash, too?
I am. My merit badge sash. Yes.
Those badges mean something, right?
Yes. You work for these. They all have a different topic. Like, some of them, this one's first aid. I have chest, fishing, all just, it's everything you can think of. And you find a counselor, someone who's certified in teaching that topic, and you work with them. There's certain requirements for the certain badges.
They don't just give them to you.
Oh, no.
See, I'm a personal fitness merit counselor.
No kidding. and with the rest of us, you are too, but that's a whole nother story.
So for Scouting, so I'm certified, and so the young men will come to me, the Boy Scouts, and then I'll put them on a program to help them achieve their personal fitness merit badge.
And so what happens? Do you push them to be the best they can be in terms of their physical fitness?
Well, so there's requirements. So it's education, learning about nutrition, learning about diseases and healthy eating habits, et cetera, et cetera. And there's exercise involved. They have to go through a 12-week program that they develop, and they monitor it and follow along. What their progress is, and so I'll meet with them periodically during that. And as long as they achieve each of the requirements, then they're eligible to get their personal fitness merit badge.
Couple things here. Where's the fun?
Everywhere. Like camping, there's fun doing these merit badges. Well, some more than others. Like, there's one environmental science that was probably the most boring merit badge I've ever done, because you sat there and learned about recycling.
Give me a fun one, though.
Fishing. That might be fun for me. I love to fish.
You love to fish.
There's water skiing.
There's water skiing.
Water sports. I have, wilderness survival. That's something you don't learn in school.
So it was fun. There's a big part of it that's fun. Plus of the camaraderie is fun.
Right. Skills, orienteering, teaching young men out in the wilderness, how to navigate, how to find places, what to look for with compasses, without compasses. I mean, there's survival skills.
For you, though, Bart, you and I talk about parenting a lot, too. Bart and I have a lot of mutual friends, and we
Nick
share.
Greco being one of them.
Yes, who's actually our legal counsel at the Caucus Educational Corporation. We've also talked about parenting. In many ways, are you somewhat of a parent figure for certain kids, or father figure for certain kids who may not have a father figure in the home? Am I making too much of that?
No. There are those situations, and it's also, listen, even with parents in the home,
sure,
sometimes an adult leader who they look up to or they respect can communicate differently than a parent can, and so there's a support system there.
Does it matter? It's interesting. It's a setup. I don't know what the answer is going to be, because Bart, in all seriousness, is such an accomplished athlete and was a superstar playing football with the Super Bowl rings and the whole bit, and you're seeing him right there in the picture, just a bit heavier and much healthier today. Is it even more impressive?
I mean, I guess so, because he's. That's a no. I mean, he's not my leader. So I mean,
he's a 49ers fan.
Right. He had both covered, by the way. He had both covered. But so you're not that aware of that?
No, I really because I know the leaders in our troop, they're just volunteer dads, and I look up to them just as much as I look up to big athletes or my other role models.
So you don't play the NFL card?
No, there's no NFL merit badges.
Last thing, for those in the time we have left, for kids out there who say, I don't know if scouting's for me, but they're on the fence, could be, you say.
Just do it. Just like Nike, just do it. Because once you do it, you're going to understand how great it is, and you're just going to keep going. And
Bart, for those who wonder if they could volunteer and make a difference, you say.
Just do it.
The biggest benefit.
Listen, it's a way of paying forward. You know, I mean, as corny as that may sound.
Not at all.
It's an opportunity to take a young man who, you know, may or may not be confident, may or may not feel comfortable with who he is, but give him some direction. Just point him. You just guide. You're not forcing them, right? You're just on the side just watching. You give them the right skills. You put them with the right peer group, and most of these kids will flourish.
Yeah, good stuff. Bart, Matt, we wish you nothing but the best. We have a feeling you'll be back with us, telling us about some of the success you've had as an adult.
Thank you.
As always, you have an open invitation. Thanks, Bart.
Thanks, Steve.
Stay here, guys. We'll be right back right after this.
To watch more one-on-one with Steve Adubato, find us online and follow us on social media.
We're pleased to welcome Debbie Eastburn, who is President and CEO, Chess in the Schools, and Damion Josephs, Chess in the Schools alumni, and also an attorney with the IBM Corporation. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Short version of what Chess in the Schools would be?
Boy, it's hard to be short because we do so much. We teach chess in the schools in 44 New York City public schools, Title I schools, low-income schools. So this year we'll teach 11,000 kids. We also run free tournaments for any New York City kids. We also teach teachers how to teach chess in their schools if they don't have our program. And we also have a college-bound program for a smaller group of kids who want to continue chess through high school, and we mentor them to be able to attend college.
How'd you get into this?
I started in 1993 as a way to, my buddy said, hey, Damion, I'm going to California next week for a chess tournament. I said, what's chess? I want to go to California. So from there, it just grew into a love of the game. So I started in 3rd grade, and I worked my way up through the program, and including the college-bound program, and here I am now.
To what degree do you feel, Damion, that learning how to play chess has taught you, I know this is a ridiculously broad question, what about life?
Life lessons at an early age, I think, are key for any individual. So you think about critical thinking skills, you think about thinking analytically, thinking strategically, being able to think before you act and before you move. You can start to begin to see how those lessons, which are really gamified in a particular way, turn into life lessons as you sort of grow and develop as a person.
Is that a big part of it?
It is. We think that these lessons that Damion has just talked about, problem solving, critical thinking, analyzing games, concentration, patience.
Wow, concentration.
Think of all those
things. Looking at that shot right there. Look at this concentration, right?
For sure.
Our kids learn these skills in ways that they don't even know they're learning the skills because they're learning chess, but they're exercising their brain every time they learn chess.
Damon, let me ask you about this. The shot we just saw, the young woman, had her head down, focused.
There are pictures of me doing that.
I'm sure, but I'm thinking about this. I think about our children. I don't want to out our kids right now for doing this, but I'm thinking about their obsession, about their technology in their hand. Mm-hmm. How hard is it for today's children to be as focused as that young lady was and as you had to be, given the distractions around them?
It definitely takes...
Harder?
It's hard. It's hard, no question. Kids by nature are active, and you think about being able to tell yourself, have the self-discipline to say, I'm going to sit down for sometimes 3 to 4 hours at a time.
At a high level of chess.
At a very high
level.
And concentrate, right? So it's a task, but it's something you develop as you go along.
And how about learning how to lose gracefully?
Right. And so that's something that our kids learn because every time they're playing, someone's going to win and someone's going to lose. But by giving them the practice in doing that and making each game shorter, with lower stakes, they learn in a sort of a comfortable, supportive environment. And when they lose, we help them to understand and analyze what they did wrong so the next time they'll learn from it and do better.
So for you, patience?
Patience, to Debbie's point, sportsmanship. Before every game and after every game, you have to shake the hands of your opponent. So that in itself shows respect for who your adversary, and you take that with you throughout life.
How about corporate America and the connection between what you learned in chess, and also let me just say, I mean, your work right now as an attorney for IBM Corporation. Can you actually say that as an attorney for a major corporation, you have been able to take some of the lessons you learned in chess in the schools and say, you know what, I'm using this right now? Or is it just in your DNA?
It is sort of built in at this point, but again, those skills that I learned early on, you think about when you're in a high-level negotiation, being able to look your adversary in the eye as you would across the board in a chess game, and being able to really concentrate and understand what's going on, problem solve, set objectives, short-term and long-term while you're in a negotiation. Being able to do that for IBM is thanks in large part to what I learned across the chessboard.
I'm also curious about this. For young people who particularly come from environments that are pretty challenging, why is chess especially important for them?
It is important for every kid, but especially for them, because those children don't have the enrichment opportunities to try new things in general, and then to practice these thinking skills that we believe help make them stronger in the classroom and outside of the classroom. We also offer kids who really get into chess, because not every kid will latch onto chess as an avocation or a hobby. But for those who really latch onto it, it's a chance to have a community of fellow chess players. It's a group outside of their neighborhood, outside of the classroom, where they make friends and they're supportive of each other, and they continue along the years in the way that Damion did with his friends through chess.
Sure, I have tons of friends now who are still playing. I don't play as competitively anymore, but
same friend.
We'll get together.
But you met through this.
So 25 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Relationships. Yeah.
30 years? You've been at this 30?
This is our 30th year. We're celebrating a big anniversary.
Congratulations. How many children?
Over 500,000 at this point have been touched by our program.
500,000?
Yes, yes.
How proud are you and your colleagues of the impact that you've had for these young people?
It's indescribable, you know, to know that we are helping kids grow and learn and live better lives through a little game called chess.
And for you, your life dramatically different than, I don't know what it would have been, but dramatically different, you think?
I would say chess played a large role in my upbringing. I had a strong family who believed in what I could do on the chessboard, and with Chess in the Schools sort of supporting that, it's been a great ride.
The organization is called Chess in the Schools. 30 years. Congratulations. So many young people helped. We wish you, Debbie, and you, Damion, nothing but the best. We appreciate you joining us on Public Broadcasting.
Thank you so much.
Great. Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this.
To see more one-on-one with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato PhD, and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
Welcome back to One-on-One. I'm Joanna Gagis, here for Steve Adubato. It happens all the time. Someone sells their home, they begin packing their belongings, getting ready for the big move. But what happens to the food in their home that's very often just too much to bring with them? Well, our next guest is moving that food to fight hunger.
My family's owned a moving company here in New Jersey for over 90 years. My great-grandfather actually started the business, Lowy's Moving Service. And growing up, when your dad owns a moving company, you have to work on a moving truck. But in that time, we saw just a ton of stuff get thrown away when people relocated. Food, clothing, furniture, you name it. And what bothered us was the perfectly good, unopened, non-perishable food that people were leaving in their cabinets or just throwing away.
After doing some research, Adam learned an alarming statistic. 40% of the food produced in the United States ends up in a landfill.
The fact that we're in a nation where 50 million Americans go to bed hungry every single night, while 40% of the food that we produce is ending up in the trash. That's ridiculous. So we participate with an organization called Move for Hunger. If you have any unopened, non-perishable food you don't want to bring with you, we'd be happy to pick that food up and bring it to the food bank for you at no charge.
I would love to do that. Do you want to see what we have?
Yeah, let's go see it.
All right, let's go.
We started asking people, do you want to donate your food when you move? That was it. I mean, it was a simple question. And in a month, from doing nothing more than a question, we collected 300 pounds of food.
Adam partnered with the Food Bank of Monmouth and Ocean County, which distributes food to local soup kitchens and food pantries.
The Food Bank of Monmouth and Ocean Counties, where we're sitting, is a distribution center. We actually work with 300 feeding programs in our network. I like to say we feed the programs that feed the people. Right now, we're providing food and services to about 1 in 10 individuals in the 2 counties. That's over 132,000 people, including 40,000 children. We have seen an increase over the last several years, and it continues to grow. And of the families we actually serve, over 62% of them are working 1 or more jobs. So it's the working poor who seem to be most in need at this time.
Ed Weisbrod is a coordinator at the Shalom Hot Lunch Mission in Lacey Township, one of the soup kitchens that the food bank supports.
The demographics are people that come in from the woods, people that live in their cars, a lot of people who live in the retirement villages whose only income is Social Security, people who have lost a job and have a lot of bills to pay, and this helps them eat and be able to pay those bills as well.
While the need in New Jersey is great, Adam realized the problem extended well beyond the state, so he began reaching out to moving companies across the country.
I just started calling moving companies immediately, and everybody hung up on me. You know, just some random kid from New Jersey calling people saying, do you want to be part of my nonprofit that you've never heard of? Not a good idea. We started with Wheaton Van Lines, and we did a pilot with them with 8 different movers in 8 different states. And at that time, I decided to call ourselves a national organization because we were in 8 states, you might as well. To date, that amount is now over 7.5 million pounds of food, which is enough to feed over 6 million people.
You see an organization like Move for Hunger that really procures food from people who otherwise don't understand the waste, the need, and how they can be part of a solution. Why is a homegrown organization like this such a good model?
It's a good model because I think it sets an example for other organizations to follow that model. The whole idea of saving food and bringing it to people in need makes a huge difference to the lives of those families it's helping. It helps the children, it helps the adults, it helps with health, it helps with homework, it helps them in so many different ways. This year, we project that we're going to get between 3.5 million and 4 million pounds of food that otherwise would have been wasted.
Without that, the church where we have our soup kitchen, they budget me $30 a meal that serves about 60 people. That comes out of the collection plate. So the more that we can get from places where food is donated, the better it is for us.
For me, one of the most rewarding things has been just seeing other companies adopt this and get excited about it.
To get people even more excited, Adam began organizing food drives throughout the U.S.
We built this network of moving companies all across the country, and we basically have trucks and boxes at our disposal. So we figured, why not do food drives? Last year alone, we organized nearly 600 food drives from young people to big corporations. We recently did this one called Can the CEO, where we worked with a big corporate office, and we encouraged their employees to bring in so much food and shove it in their CEO's office to the point where she couldn't even get inside that office anymore. You know, we're making them competitive, we're making them creative, because a food drive is so much more than just putting a can of food in a box.
The food that is collected and donated to the food bank has the ability to change the lives and the futures of the children it feeds.
We work with the Boys and Girls Club of both Monmouth County in Red Bank and Asbury Park, and we provide 140 hot, nutritionally balanced meals every day for their after-school program. We also have a backpack program in which we're working with 29 schools. We work with the nurses, teachers, and guidance counselors to help us determine who the highest risk kids are. And for those children, 29 schools, 800 kids, these 800 kids get a sealed plastic pack of 4 meals and 2 snacks that is discreetly slipped into their backpack that they receive every Friday, so we know they have food for the weekend.
Adam hopes that one day there will no longer be food waste or a need for organizations like Move for Hunger, but for now, he will continue to encourage food donation.
My goal is to make sure that every American has the opportunity to donate their food when they move. And if we succeed in that mission, you no longer need Move for Hunger.
In Monmouth and Ocean County, we have such a great community support. We couldn't do it alone. It's really because of organizations, the retail stores, organizations like Move for Hunger. Everyone comes together. If we all come together, we can make sure that hunger won't win here.
In 2016, Adam was named as an honoree of the Russell Berry Awards for Making a Difference.
The Russ Berry Awards really helped to shine a positive light on the work that Move for Hunger is doing. And I think it's important because a lot of people might have been like me 8 years ago that didn't know anything about hunger in their communities. It's a solvable problem. It really is. We're not going to solve all of hunger, all of food waste. We know that. But can we fix food waste within relocation? Absolutely. Can we teach an entire industry to become more socially responsible in the way they do business and to use their resources effectively to help communities? Absolutely. And that's our goal with Move for Hunger. There is more than enough food in this country to feed everybody. We just need to make sure that more of this food can get from point A to point B.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the Russell Berry Foundation, Virtua, Partners for Health Foundation, Qualcare Inc., Johnson & Johnson, Kessler Foundation, and by ADP. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.
At Virtua, we don't cut the quad tendon for knee replacement, so you don't have to cut anything you love to do. It's what we don't cut that counts. The Virtua Joint Replacement Institute. Visit GotMyLifeBack.org today.